Tsakazani, Gogo Noma here. Welcome to Learning with Noma, your online comprehensive classroom where we are changing our lives one lesson at a time. This is your home of spiritual learning and healing. Today I am talking about, or I'm answering the question, Gogo, can I Phahla when I'm on my menstrual periods? Gogo, can I light a candle when I'm on my menstrual period? So if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do click the subscribe button. Do not forget to like the video, share, because in this classroom, a lesson learned should be a lesson shared. All right, so let me start first by talking about the menstrual cycle. It is a normal physiological experience that occurs in the woman's body each and every month when there is shedding of the uterine line, and this shedding happens each and every month. The cycle happens every 28 to 29 days. It is a normal physiological experience or process. And during this time, you're going to find that because of the hormone levels in the body, the estrogen goes down, it goes low. And I'm not really going to get into the medical part of it, but I just want you to understand where I am going. This is going to help me as I explain or put into understanding where Gogo Noma comes from. And again, please do understand, everything that I share is from my own experiences, is from my own understandings of how my spirit guides reveal things to me. So whatever that I say, if it does not resonate with you, do not dismiss it, do not disregard it. Just know that there is someone spiritually who is going to resonate with. And if it does, do not dismiss the other one or another interpretation or another way of which this answer can come to you. Spirit will always give the teachings according to its own experiences and its own wisdom, and whatever resonates with you means resonates with the spiritual guides that you walk with. So yes, we find that our hormonal levels are low, and you then become depressed. You're going to have moodiness, as we are said, we are moody. You are going to also experience skin problems, and this causes lack of confidence to you as a woman. You are going to experience dysmenorrhea, abdominal cramps, and this in itself requires for you to sort of like hibernate. You become you are low in energy. You don't feel like being around people. In the olden days, most of the sangomas would be women, the diviners, let me put it like that, would be women, and they would be referred to as izinyanga. You'll be inyanga. Inyanga being the moon, unomkhubulwane, khwedi, lady moon. And when we as women are also experiencing this time of the month, we are always referred to, in Zulu they would say usenyangeni, ka Sesotho re tla re o kgweding kapa o matsatsing, and matsatsing being the 20, even with the lunar cycle, we talk about 28 to 29 days of the lunar cycle. So when we say umatsatsing, it means you have completed your 28-day cycle, and now the body, like I said, the uterine lining is shedding off the old skin in order to make way for the new skin. And then even in other American native tribes, you are going to find them saying it is the moon time. And when I talk about the shedding off of the old skin, even with snakes, we know for it to show that it has grown, to show that there's been progress in its life, there's growth, it needs to shed off the old skin in order to make way for new life and to have a smoother skin, to have a smoother beginning, to enter into something new and more prosperous. And always you will find that it leaves the skin behind, it releases the old in order to come into the new. Same as us as women, we then have to that is a period where I always take it into the phases of the moon also, to say with the new moon you're going to find that the moon is dark. You don't see any sign of life around the moon. If you told someone who did not know the moon and say there's a moon up there and it's the one that gives light similarly to what the sun does during the day, but it's not as bright, but there is a moon up there, a person will tell you no, there's no moon, because there's no sign of the moon, there's no sign of life. And that is what happens to a woman during this time of the month. You are shedding off the old lining of the uterus, and at that time it is very likely that one would be pregnant. So there is no sign. It's the soil being prepared. You are having the soil prepared for a seed to be planted in order for life to then take place. So in most of the American native tribes, you would find that they, like I said, they would refer to this as the moon time. And in the olden days, there were even tribes that had a lodge that was called the Moon Lodge, where women would go and they would just gather, they would retreat, they would introspect. And the most important thing was that they would be in the space where they will all rest at night, because they understood they needed the quietness. At that time, they had heightened prophetic dreams, or their prophetic spirits were heightened. They would dream and they would come back to the community or to the tribe, and they would tell them of upcoming events, whether it was going to be an attack from another tribe, whether it was going to be a season of wealth, or a season of abundance, or if there was going to be a season of lack that was coming, so that the whole tribe could prepare. So it was a respected and honored time in the Native American tribes. And even when you go to cultures like, if you go to places like Ghana, those are the times of the month that is respected and celebrated. Even for us as Africans, in our cultures, when you now start having your periods, you would find ceremonies being done where you will be celebrated as a girl, and all the older women will be there to celebrate with you and give you imithetho or mela. Now you must understand, should you ever be intimate with a man, now your body is ready to conceive. Now you are ready to actually bear fruits. You are ready to be a woman, and it will be a time of celebration because you are moving from being a girl into becoming a woman. That is the shift from being a girl into womanhood. So it was always a celebrated time of being a woman. And during this time, like I said, that we have physical experiences that we experience. The body is depressed, and this is the chemical reactions that happen in the body because of the levels of the hormones that are low, particularly the hormone estrogen being low in our system, because we are like the moon has feminine energies, and the energies of the moon affect us very much. When you look at the cycle of the period cycle or the menstrual cycle, it is more in line with the lunar cycle, where most women during the new moon, they will either be in their premenstrual phase or they will be having their menstrual period, or it can be during a full moon. And when the moon communicates with the earth, it communicates through water. The tides of the ocean would be high, would be high, and things will be happening in water. As human beings, we are made of more than 65% of water. That is why the energies of the moon will affect us so much, the feminine. So we are the moon ourselves. Everything that happens, that's why we have a lunar cycle and we have a menstrual cycle, and they all last 28 days. And those phases are more or less the same, and we will get into that in another lesson when I sort of like unpack and we see how our bodies actually are a mirror of, or Lady Moon is a mirror of what happens to our body. So we need to honor ourselves during that time, because it is a time where we are shedding the old and we are preparing for the new. During this time, we've got heightened senses, or our senses are very heightened. That's why you will be moody, because you are sort of like sensitive to everything. You are moody, you can smell things, you become nauseous. I mean, you can even smell somebody making eggs, and you can smell somebody who came in and they've just eaten maybe something like an acha, or garlic. You just become very sensitive and you are easily nauseous. And then the other thing that happens during this time is that we need to understand it is a time where we need to focus our energy to ourselves, or it is a time when we focus our energy to our inner being, because of all the dysmenorrhea and the moodiness, the depression, you want to isolate, you want to be alone, you want to retreat, you want to recharge. It is a good time to be selfish, if I can put it like that. It is a good time to be selfish as a woman, because we are forever serving others. You are serving your family, you're serving people at work, you're serving your friends, you're serving this, you're serving that. We are servers. And I'm just going to come back to say this, for me, then it sort of like puts into an understanding why during this time you would find in African cultures that a woman is told you need to rest, you need to be in the bedroom, you should not be in the kitchen cooking, you should not be taking care of the children. It is not to say that we are dirty or that we are impure, but unfortunately, because we all have a religious background, and if you have the religion as your background, or something that, yeah, a foundation, all major religions, be it Christianity, Judaism, Islam, we have been taught that during this time as a woman you are dirty and you are impure. But in our African cultures, it is a celebrated time, and it is a time that is very respected for a woman, and hence we would be told during this time a woman would not go into the kitchen and cook, because our ancestors understood that it was a very important time for women. They were connecting with uNomkhubulwane, Ndlovukazi, the Lady Moon herself, Nwedi, because the energies were very potent, are very potent at the time. They still are, and we need to respect ourselves. We need to take time out. We need to recharge. We need to honor ourselves. And I will also do a video very soon, or a lesson very soon, about honoring ourselves, because for me, every time I look at the cycle, the 4 phases of the cycle, or the menstrual cycle of a woman, I always look at the menstruating part of it, when you are actually on your periods, as the winter season. The day 1 to day 7, and this has been shared by many writers and by many researchers, people who were interested in understanding how the moon, the menstrual cycle, and us as women, why did we then get classified to be impure, when in most of our cultures and this was a time where a woman was being celebrated and honored and being given a time to rest and to concentrate on themselves, because they are a server, they are a carer, they are a healer, they are always giving so much of themselves. But during this time, they were being honored to say, take time out and just be with yourself and connect, because also it was understood, like I said, prophetic dreams would be heightened, and they would come back with messages from their time of isolation that will help the tribe as a whole. So even as you are out there in isolation, it was also seen as a way of you serving the community or your tribe. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So they knew you had to go and refill yourself, you had to go and recharge yourself, but still you would come back with everything from your dreams, and it will come and benefit the rest of the tribe. So day 1 to day 7, because most of the time you will find that is the ranges. It's either your menstrual period is going to last from 1 day to 1 to 3 days, 1 to 7 days being the maximum. I call it the winter season, or like I said, from most of the research that I've done, it is classified as the winter season, and I resonate because it is the time when you want to hibernate, you want to be alone. And in the winter, that's what happens. People want to hibernate, they stay in their corners, nobody wants to bother anybody. We just want a heater, coffee, and you just want to be alone. You are depressed, it's brown everywhere, the trees don't have leaves. So it's a winter season in your life during your menstrual period. And then when we come to the I'll say pre-ovulation period, which is the time just after your menstruation, now you are preparing to give life. And this stage, I call it the spring season, because in spring now the trees are coming back to life. You're going to start seeing the greens coming out, you're going to start seeing rain, your body is preparing for life. And that is the best time when we would then manifest. That is the best time when one would, that's why I say when you are menstruating, it is the good time to shed the old and plant a seed, because the season that comes after that is a season that prepares you for manifestation. It is the pre-ovulation time, which I refer to as the spring. And that is why, again, I'm saying we will learn more about honoring our menstrual cycle. So taking advantage of each and every week, or each and every sort of like 6 days. And then the third stage, it will be now your ovulation stage, and this I refer to as the summer season, because everything is starting to sort of like manifest. This is the time when you are told if you want to have a baby, this is a good time to start playing around and trying to conceive with your partner, because then your body is ready to accept and to receive and to plant the seed. And then the last phase, which is your premenstrual phase, will be the autumn, where you are feeling down and you can start feeling that, you know what, I know something is coming already. Your body starts telling you, you start feeling all those feelings. It's sort of like now the shedding off is coming. You know the body is preparing to shed off the old and bring in the new. So in the olden days, a woman's menstrual period was an honored time. It was respected, and it was never seen as impure. We were just influenced by religion. My answer is this: I personally have not had a problem with my ancestors reprimanding me or finding things going AWOL in my life, because when we talk about Ukuphahla, is communicating to your ancestors, and when we talk about communicating to our ancestors, we understand that they are with us, their blood is in us, and I can communicate to my ancestors wherever I am. The question of can I light a candle? Yes, you can light a candle. You need those energies from the candle to release the negative. There's a video that I've put on TikTok that says, light your candle with intention. I will load it also here on YouTube to say that you need to have intention. So during that time, you need to release. And what is better way to release than through lighting of a candle? Having the intention to release all the negative energy and invite all the positive energy. And when you do that with a candle, you light it, and you might even see a black smoke coming out and showing you that the energies that need to be released are being released out of your system, and you are preparing to have new energies. For me personally, when it comes to Ukuphahla, like I've just said, you would then isolate, you would be alone. It will be time for you to retreat, a time for you to dream, a time for you to introspect. So basically that means you are nowhere near places like Umsamo, you are nowhere near places that are sacred to the rest of the family, or places that you have done physically. Umsamo is you. I need us to understand that Umsamo when, the fact that we do Umsamo, the shrine, the altar, that is just the physical manifestation, the tangible to the eye, the tangible to the physique, because as a physical being, we understand things physically. For me, I personally do not go near Umsamo one because of the energies that I have, and I understand that I need to always bring positive energies into that space. And like I'm saying, during that period, I need to release, I need to reconnect with myself, I need to introspect, I need to be sort of like, listen to what spirit is saying, more than speak and tell spirit what I want to tell it. And it's time for me to meditate. That is a good time for me to meditate and listen to spirit. So I usually have my candle, and I would light my candles, but I wouldn't really go Ukuphahla, but I would still communicate to my ancestors in my own space where I am, be it next to my bed, be it in my bed, because sometimes you can't even get up or get out of bed. The body is just like, I'm not going anywhere. I need to rest, I need to recharge, I need to get new energies. So yes, you can light a new candle. Yes, you can still communicate with your ancestors. Ukuphahla is communicating with your ancestors. And yes, you can still pray. In the Bible, as Christians, we know we talk about God saying come as you are. So in religion in itself, they tell you that God is non-judgmental. You come with everything that you have. But then again, we are told about this, and I'll say being impure or unclean during this time. So for me personally, I still continue Ukuphahla. There's not a day in my month where I don't wake up and Phahla and communicate to my ancestors. There's not a day in my life when I don't wake up and light a candle, and I've never experienced a problem. I've never had my ancestors switching off the candle and telling me to get away from them because I'm dirty, except during that time. That is when I actually communicate with them and thank them for the messages that they are bringing to me. Thank them for the dreams that I'm having. Thank them for the visions that they are bringing into my space, and thank them for bringing clarity into my life, because most of the time that is a period in my life when I get answers about things that I've been busy asking them to give clarity about, and that is the time when I find direction in my life. Unomkhubulwane Lady Moon, I understand that she's giving me energies and she's allowing me to release the old, and she's allowing me to have energies to plant the new. Personally, I don't see my menstrual period as a hindrance to my life. I don't see it as a curse. I don't see myself as impure. It's actually a time that is very much celebrated. Yes, I do not feel like being with anyone. I don't feel like having anybody around me. I don't feel like socializing, but that is the best time to hibernate. That is the best time to give self-love, to look inside yourself and actually do what is good for you and not serve other people. That's why I say it is the time to be selfish, but in your selfishness you're also serving others, because you get these dreams, you get these visions, you get to understand how can you be a better version of yourself. And if you're a better version of yourself, then you will be a better server to everybody else around you. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So this is a time to retreat, but it has no hindrance on how you communicate with your ancestors. It has no hindrance on why you should not light a candle. Continue doing what you do spiritually. Do what works for you, and as you connect with your ancestors, they will also direct you on how to approach them, how to treat this time of the month, and how to deal with it. And again, for me guys, it also becomes it's again a stigma that we put, because for an example, if you look at one being ephehlweni and being told when you are having your menstrual periods, you must not enter endumbeni, you must, so everybody knows now this is a sacred time for a woman, and it's not something that you should be ashamed of. It's not something that should make you feel less of a human being. And I am one against, you know, the notion of you're not gonna come in, you're gonna sit somewhere else and people are gonna all see that actually I am going through my menstrual cycle. It's nothing abnormal. It's normal. Actually, if you were not going through a menstrual cycle, we will be worried. We would be saying you're pregnant. What is happening? You're not supposed to be pregnant. So it's a normal process and experience that the body goes. Your uterus lining is just shedding off the old skin to prepare a new skin, a new lining that will bring life, that will bring prosperity. And as much as it's a time to isolate, introspect, and be alone, but it is the best time for you to go fill your cup so that you can come and serve those that need your love, your care, and those that need you to be present as a feminine energy around them. Phahla, pray, light your candle, be free. That is the time to be celebrating who you are as a woman. That is from Gogo Noma, my own experiences, my own understanding, and how I practice in my own space. If you found the information in this video insightful or spiritually liberating, because I've learned one thing about spirituality is that spirituality is not excluding, it is inclusive, and spirituality embraces each and everything that is natural. So as a woman, know that you are the moon, you are the 4 seasons, and you are allowed to celebrate yourself and be happy. And there's not a time in any space in your month where you are impure or unclean, except it is only a time for you where you've got heightened energies and you are able to serve those that you serve better. My name is Gogo Noma. This is Learning with Noma. We are changing our lives one lesson at a time, your home of spiritual learning and healing. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do click the subscribe button, like the video if you found the information insightful, and share the lesson. In this classroom, a lesson learned should be a lesson shared. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Learning with Noma. You can also visit my blog website, learningwithnoma.com. All links in the description below. And in the description below, I've also put links for the full moon manifestation, full moon release ritual, and the new moon manifestation ritual. See you next time with another lesson from me, Gogo Noma. Thokozani lesedi, Kganya.